All those great card making supplies we have, or you have, or I have, or they have, put them to use and make holiday tags. Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and my studio. I love making tags at the holidays. I think it's just fun to do when maybe all your cards are done, but you still want to be crafty. Make a tag. I've got a cute one to share with you today, so stick around. That project is coming up next. Here's a look at some of the products I'll be using to create some holiday tags today. I love this Fresh Air Holiday Tree Stamp Set. I've had this for a while. I do have the coordinating dies as well, but I'm not sure yet if I'm going to use them because I want to use this trio of greens from Simon Says Stamp. This is a newer release and it is a really fantastic trio of greens. So let me get my Misti set up so I can stamp my first tree. I am going to use the most thickest branched tree first, and that's going to be in my lightest color. All right, I'll put this right in the center for now because I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. I basically want to start with a tree. I'm going to start with one tree. So let's pick this up and place this back down. I've got my waffle flower grip mat holding my cardstock. Actually, let's get my paper in there. Oh, that's probably good. Now, I haven't used this yet, so I'm going to try to prime it a bit, although I will say I have some lotion on my hands, so I don't know how this is going to work, but you kind of just want to get that coating off. And of course, this is only the first time you're using a stamp. I do this every time, and a lot of times I am using brand new stamps. So let's take the cabbage. It's actually pronounced cabbage. And we're gonna ink this up with this pretty light color. Okay. Bring it down and transfer. So first layer is cabbage. And I'm going to use my little pressure tool here. And we're gonna do this twice just to make sure the ink transfers nicely. Oh, it's so pretty. Like that. All right. Actually, just one would look pretty on a tag, but that is pretty gorgeous. And I think right in there, you know, if you ever have a spot when you're using your Misti that seems like it's not picking the ink up off the stamp, you can always just press again in the center of the stamp on the door to get that to transfer. Clean the stamp off and pick it up. And now I'm going to come in with my mid-tone and the second stamp. Now, this is the kind of thing that honestly, I don't think is really that hard to line up. Like, it's kind of hard to mess it up. If you were die cutting, you could die cut first, but I don't think I'm going to use the die for the idea that I have. I'm going to use a tag die for my tag, but not the actual dies for this set. So this is one that I think you could have a lot of fun just generating a bunch of them. Even if you had multiple Mistis, I know, you know who you are. You know, you could get a little assembly line going, right? So this is the artichoke. And again, we're transferring this layer in. Now, you can see a little bit of bubbling. That's because I really haven't primed the stamp really well, but you can see that layer, how it starts to fill in and give the tree more detail. Oh, looks like I know what I'm doing. And we'll bring in the third layer, which is the deepest detail, and that is going to be in the kale. So again, I'm just gonna line it up right there at the top, like that. I think that's gonna be very pretty. And again, prime and stamp. And then you get even more depth in your tree. Like that. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to walk away from this for a few minutes because I do want to have the garland on here, but I want to wait until the saturated inks dry back completely. They are, an ink that has a higher viscosity, which is why they're so easy to blend. But that means you're going to want to take just a little beat if you're going to stamp on top of one of your stamped images, because I only want my embossing powder to stick to where I add the garland. So let me set this aside and figure out my greeting. I think I'm going to take the Season's Greetings, and I'm going to, while I'm at it, I might as well just stamp a Merry Christmas. See if that holds its shape. Yeah. That way I have a couple choices. But I am going to do a couple because then I have an extra for another tag. Because I do like to get into that zone during the holidays where I just make a bunch of tags. Because I always have packages to wrap, and the nice thing about tags is sometimes you can just use them again. Like, don't let if the recipients in your family, don't let them throw it away. And then you can just use the tag for next year's package. And let's get some anti-static powder. Put that on because my hands do have lotion, and I'm afraid that I may have transferred some of that to the cardstock. So this powder just makes everything slide off except for where I've stamped my Versamark. Let's take the Versamark and ink these up. Bring this down, and I'll just do a light transfer. I don't want to smush them, but I think this will be great. Hit it a second time. Then we can see which one looks the best. All right. Now I will grab my little paper that I pour my powder onto while I'm doing this, and my clothespin so that my fingers don't have to be anywhere near the heat. And I'm going to use my Brutus Monroe Gilded. This is a really nice gold powder. Let's see here, sprinkle on. We'll see how that looks. Oh, that looks really good. You can see a little extra powder where my fingers were holding the paper earlier, but we'll put a little more on, let that slide, light tap. All right, that looks pretty good. And now I'll just funnel this back in. Like that. Close this up. I'll just wipe this off with my Swiffer cloth. I usually do this in between color changes, even though I'm going to use the same color, but when the folded paper gets too mucky, I put it in the recycling and get a new one. All right, that looks really good. I don't think there's much that needs to be brushed away. However, let me show you this. I like these angled shaders so that if you have some extra powder that is where you don't want it to be, you can brush it off. Now there was the tiniest little speck. I love being able to do that. That way you get a really nice clean look. Also, if you are doing this and let's say you're new to this process and powder sticks everywhere, that's why you want to have the anti-static powder. It helps all that other embossing powder to slide off. All right, I'm going to heat up my heat tool and we'll melt the powder. Right, those look great. I have my nice shiny greetings. Let me get the coordinating dies so we can cut this out. Of course, I have my little Hero Arts metal snips, and I will just cut these apart so I can have the banner portions that I need. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to be using the tree, but I will have that all cut out as well. I'm going to be cutting today on the Intri-Cut die cut machine. This is new in my studio, and when I open it, it suctions down. But what I didn't know is you push that in and then you get a nice secure surface. All right, let me grab my plates. One thing you can do with this die cut machine is you can flip the order of your sandwich. There are 2 plates, and I am going to cut into the cutting mat this way and put this on top. Now I am set up currently on the dial that's on the back side of the machine to the die cut, And my pressure setting is adjusted just to 0. But now I can run this through. And the cool thing is I'm doing this one-handed, which is amazing to me. And there you go. It doesn't shoot out the back, and it's, oh my goodness gracious, it's ready to go. And now I have, let's see, my cute little Season's Greetings or Merry Christmas. So I don't know which one I'm going to use, but well, now I'm going to go back to stamping as long as my stamped image is completely dry. So I'll put this away for now and bring it back out as needed. If you want to make sure that this is ready to stamp, you can powder it up, right? And a little powder on there. And then just pour your embossing powder on. Of course, I learned this from my dear friend Christina Werner, watching her do this. Usually she's done far more things than what I'm about to do. But if you do this, look at all that stick. Can you see that? This is not ready for stamping. So the beautiful thing is you can take a big old brush. Well, actually, yeah, I'll use my fan brush. You can just brush it off, okay? It's not ready, so you will wait until you can get the clean powder coming off, all right? That way you know it's not going to stick to everything else except for where you are stamping your, in this case, my garland. I could heat it up a bit with my heat tool, so I might do that because honestly, I'm going to be die cutting anyway. So let me grab my other heat tool to do that. I could use the low setting on my heat tool, but I always pull out my Ranger, heat it. I have 2 heat tools and I know this one is going to be the right heat. So all I'm going to do is just facilitate the drying of the ink. Now, if the paper begins to warp a little bit, and it will, it's not a big deal, because I am going to be die cutting. So I'm just making sure the ink is set in that cardstock and completely dry. I also think working on a glass surface is nice because the glass sort of helps to reflect the heat a little. I don't know if that's science, but that's the story I'm going with. You want to get to the point where when you pour it on and it slides off, it is not sticking to any part of the tree. At least it doesn't look like it is. I hit this another time with my dry tool. Just make sure it's dry. In fact, you could make a bunch of these, just set them aside and work on another part of the project. But I think we are ready to add the garland and maybe a star. We'll see. Actually, you know what? I'll let you know. I want to show you the tag that I am planning to use. I'm going to use the Gina K Designs Tag Trio. This largest one is wonderful. And I don't know if I want the star. I kind of don't, and so I may not, but I may put it right on top. We'll see. Let me get my Misti and we'll add the garland and the star if I decide I'm going to do it. I'm going to use that garland stamp and again, just sort of, get it arranged on my tree right about like that. It'll just be a lovely little adornment. Now, I could do the star, but you know what? I think it's okay to not have a star. Sometimes I want it, sometimes I don't. Right now, I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to prime the garland. And we're really going to powder this up well. So I'm just going to be potching down quite a bit all over. Like that. Now take the Versamark again. All right, and we will ink up our garland. Now, this would make a really cute card, obviously. But I just, sometimes when I'm not feeling like I need another card, especially in the holidays, I do the tags. And then I get to use all of my crafty Christmassy things for double duty, right? So tags, cards, who knows what else. You can even stamp your own gift wrap. Like I love taking that butcher style craft paper and then, see how you can see the ink on there? And stamping an image to create a pattern on wrapping paper. I don't do that very often because that is a bit of a commitment, but let's see how this looks. Now I will add my powder and hopefully everything's going to stick where it should stick and not where it doesn't. And I can always brush away a little as it does. But now you can see the powder stuck where I wanted it to be. And now I'm ready to heat set. now I have my shiny gold garland on my tree. Let's get the die cut machine out so we can cut out the tag. And again, I'm still stuck here on the die cut. So again, there's a setting right on top for die cut. I will open, I will push in my little platform here. And this time I think I'll just flip my plate every other time to get into the habit. But first I need to figure out where I'm going to tape this down so that we are getting the tag that we want. Let's see here. I did have room for the star, but you know what? Sometimes I just am not feeling it. So I'm going to add a little tape here. Okay. I'm going to put that at a slight angle just because this is a pretty substantial die. And then I'll put this on top like that. And we'll just run it through. All right, and again, this part of the Intri-Cut, this is not a cutting surface. So that one you never cut into, it's only this friend here. Oh, look how cute that is. I love it. Now, I have got another piece of cardstock here. I am gonna cut out one more tag because I like my tags to kind of have a back on them too. So again, I'll just come in that way. Sure, like that. And pop you on and run you back through the other way. Like that. Again, I don't have to hold it. It's kind of weird. I'm not used to that. I think force of habit has my hand on here, but I think that's really cool. And now I'm going to glue this to the back of this, which will help to keep it a little more flat, but also it kind of creates that finished look on my tag. All right, I'll put this away and we'll finish the tag. To finish my tag, I'm going to do this on a piece of paper because I hate getting tape runner on my glass because then I can never see it. It cleans off really easily, but because my surface is white, I inevitably forget it's there. And then I'm like, oh, what happened there? So let's just get enough tape on here. Oh, let me grab my little score pal. I like to use the edge here to line things up. So we'll just pop this that way, right? Hold that in place. Tag's not too warped, so we'll just go put it right in here, again in the corner. So easy to line it up that way, like that. And then also you can kind of just rub your fingers over to get any extra of the anti-static powder off of your tag. Isn't that cute? All right. And now I decided we have our little Merry Christmas, and I want this to extend outside of the tag. I actually think that's really cute. I mean, I could pop this one on too, but I feel like it covers up so much of the tree, and I do kind of want this to be at a bit of an angle so that both little flags are popping off. I think that's really cute. Let me take the backers off, and then I'll just add, these are regular depth foam squares, the small ones that I just cut in half for a little extra pop-up. You wouldn't need to do this, but I love the look. All right, let's get some liquid glue so that we have just a little bit of wiggle room. All right, this is Gina K Designs Connect glue. Just gonna put a bead on each one, like that. And then pop this, I think I'll go lower, and I'll match the angle of the garland just for fun. Oh, that didn't work. My tweezers have so much glue on them. Oh boy, oh boy. I think are we good? Yeah, I think we're good enough. There we go. These need a good cleaning. All right, I have one more thing to finish out this tag. I was shopping, doing a little Amazon shopping, and I just wanted some big rolls of baker's twine for the holidays because I do like to wrap in baker's twine. So I think I'm just gonna do a little tag, and well, I don't know if red would look better. There's no red on here, but you know what? You can also do gold ribbon. I don't really have much in the way of gold right now, so I'll do this, run through. That was probably way too much, but I like to wrap my packages really neutrally and then throw on twine. I think it's cute. Well, it's a little homespun. You know, I like that during the holidays. But then here we have a really big, beautiful tag. I will cut some there, and then all you need to do is write to and from on the back, and that becomes your cute little tag for your package. I love using all of my card making supplies to make fun holiday tags. I think this is such a pretty tag. It will look so lovely on a package, and I hope this inspires you when you want to get crafty this holiday season. And then once you're done, you actually have a great use for what you create. Thanks so much for watching. You can find links to all of the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. To see a few more ideas for fun holiday tags, check out the thumbnails I have linked for you below, and I'll see you in those videos.